The other day, I made a video of Hasan Piker pretty much praising the likes of the pro-Palestinian nut job that decided to end the lives of the two Israelis in Washington, D.C. the other day. And, well, I know this wasn't because of my video, but the backlash and the outrage was so immense that Twitch finally did the right thing and gave Hasan some consequences for the likes of the horrible things that he has been spouting for the last, I don't know however long he's been doing it for, but a bloody long time. Let's just say that. And well, he's been kicked off the platform for 24 hours. That's what the initial story seems to be saying. Now, I'm all in favor of freedom of speech. I'm a free speech absolutist, meaning that I will defend your right to say whatever you want to say. Doesn't make it right to actually say it. So Hasan is more than allowed to say what he said. But on the other hand, I'm all in favor of consequences for the things that we actually say. And I'm glad that there actually are some consequences for Hasan. I know it's not going to really help him at all because he's not going to change his ways. He's a dingbat. He doesn't think about his actions one little bit. Why would he apologize? He just goes into defense mode, right? So what he said was unacceptable. And obviously the backlash and the outrage was so immense that Twitch, owned by Amazon, I believe, decided to go, all right, we'll ban him for 24 hours. Give him some time in the sin bin, so to speak, to think about what he said. But I don't think that's going to really stop him from saying the things that he was saying the other day. But anyway, left-wing darling, love the New York Post sometimes, Hasan Piker has been booted from the streaming platform Twitch after he suggested that the ending of the lives of the two Israeli embassy diplomats in Washington, D.C. looked like it could be a false flag operation. And he said that he's not saying it's a false flag operation, but this could be set up like a false flag operation. Hasan, 33, claimed his account, which has more than 2.8 million followers, was suspended because of his critical examination of the manifesto of suspected T-word individual T-wrist. Let's use that. Elias Rodriguez, who's homegrown, by the way, homegrown T-wrist, who was charged with executing embassy officers, office staffers, Yaron Lynchinsky and Sarah Milgram outside the Capitol Jewish Museum on Wednesday night. And here's some more information about that horrible event that took place. She was shot. She crawled away. The killer walked after her and shot her again. She was still alive. He reloaded his gun and then shot her again and again to make sure she was dead. For freeing Palestine. This lunatic and nut job that Hasan Piker was praising happens to be Elias Rodriguez, someone that is a homegrown T-wrist, and also, more than that, did the unthinkable, took two lives, all in the name of supposedly freeing Palestine. How does ending two Jewish lives, I mentioned this a number of times, but how does ending the two lives of two Jewish people equate to freeing Palestinians? I wonder, just how does that work exactly? But these people have been indoctrinated by the likes of Hasan Piker and many others, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, you name it. Loads of people on the right and also loads of people on the left. They're all just as bad as each other. The bad faith individuals that have got no idea what the hell they're talking about half the time, but yet millions of people tune in and listen to them. It's frustrating because the vulnerable minds that are listening to these nut jobs, like Hasan Piker being one of them, they're getting ideas in their head of what they should do, what they should carry out. God forbid they anymore decide to listen. But this whole entire incident could have been totally avoided. But the rhetoric that is being sent out into the masses at the moment is one of hate, one of vitriol towards the Jewish people. And that, to me, is unacceptable. So Elias Rodriguez was charged with executing Yaron Lynchinsky and Sarah Milgram. He said the attack had all the hallmarks of a false flag operation. This is Hassan Piker, a term used for an action that is staged to look as if it was carried out by a different group to pin the blame on them, which we know this guy was actually one of those Free Palestine individuals. So Hassan being a Muslim man, Hassan being for Palestine, why would he put the blame on where it belongs, on a nut job that was full for Palestine and claimed and chanted it a number of times, Free Palestine, even after he was arrested? Why would someone that is Jewish go out of their way and end the lives of two innocent other Jewish people? Okay, to Hassan, in his brain, it doesn't look like a false flag operation, but it I'm not saying that it is, or that it's not. I don't. Looks like it. It's got all the hallmarks of it. Sick conspiracy theorists have claimed that the shooting at the Jewish Museum was staged to discredit the pro-Palestinian movement, although Piker said he did not explicitly believe Wednesday's shooting was one. But I'll allude to it. I'll put it out there. I'll put the conspiracy theorist theory out there for everyone to think about and mull over. So if you had every intention of talking about the fact that the false flag incident wasn't in fact a false flag incident, but yet you decided to put it out there anyway and say, even though Wednesday's shooting was not explicitly a false flag incident, but I'm just going to put it out there for you guys to think. It's subtle, isn't it? It's horrible. It's truly, truly horrible behavior. He's not going to go, I explicitly believe that Wednesday's shooting was a false flag incident, but I will make it out to look like, it is, kind of thing. I won't say it, but I'll make it out to look like it is one. So I'll praise the pro-Palestinian and I'll just allow the conspiracy theorists to have their way. We can't discredit the pro-Palestinian movement because they're actually truly evil. Why would we discredit them? Because they're a party of pure hatred, if you ask me. I'm not Mr. False Flag at all, but like everything that Rodriguez did in the aftermath of the shooting is so effing crazy that it's like you could have designed a effing incident like this. You could not have designed or decided a better false flag incident like this. He said in a live stream, which also shared to his 1.6 million followers on Friday. So this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The problem with what are you feeding? Kind of insane to say this kind of stuff on a major platform to millions of followers. It's wrong. And I'm glad that Twitch decided to do the right thing and ban him. And the reason? Improper handling of terrorist propaganda, sharing content related to terrorist or violent extremist groups. And basically, the way he was talking about it is basically praising it in a way. I covered the motives of the Israeli embassy staff shooter. Twitch dictate suspension to even critical examination of the manifesto. I believe this is a bad policy for news and press freedom. I'll take the suspension, but hope Twitch changes his policy in the future. This policy in the future. Right. So we're going to allow you to get away with saying a horrible thing that you said, and there's going to be no consequences. There are always consequences to one's actions and the things that we say. So to Hasan, he doesn't want to have any consequences happen to him because according to him, he's right to say it. Yes, I will defend his right to say it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go, there shouldn't be any consequences for what he said because what he said was utterly disgusting. Thank you very much. So if someone says something really disgusting, there should be, once again, consequences for saying it. And again, I will defend your right to say it. by all means. Doesn't make it right, but there should be consequences. And while he's cheesed off about the suspension, it's 24 hours. That's it. Like, it's not even like a little dent, if you ask me. But anyway, I'm just glad that I guess Twitch decided to do something. I know it's not much, but it's still something. Anyway, that's enough from me. But you guys take care. Be blessed. And I'll see you all in the next video.